Okay, so today we're going to talk about creating our color palettes for our symbol sets and also talking about the fact that we're going to create 3 different colorways. We're going to actually come up with 3 different colorways that we want to use. And so I don't want you to have just one color palette. I want you to come up with 3. And let's talk about that. So there is, this lab. This says is new as a new symbol. So I'm looking at recolor your vector artwork, drag and drop your SVG file. Oh, they're going to do it right in here. We can do it in Illustrator and we're going to talk about that. But we will be recoloring our, we're going to color it one way and then we're going to color it 2 different ways based on the files we want to do. Let me get back to Adobe Color. I think it's turned me into, it's gone somewhere else. Where did it go? Let's go back to Adobe Color. Okay, create. Here we go. So the very first button, create, gives us, as you are aware, the color wheel, and we can choose different color harmonies. So we can choose a split complementary, a square. Let's start with a square. You can do things like just take this and move it around, right? And I'm going to make this screen a little smaller so you can see all of the features. There we go. Notice how it's given us, this is kind of a new feature. It's letting us add more colors. So depending, you're not stuck to 5 colors anymore. It used to be only 5 colors. Now you can do up to 10. And you can see how we can play around with that. Play around with how we want to break up our 10 colors. Right? And we can also do extracts theme. So let's say on our mood board, we have a picture that we really love. So let me grab a photo. I'm going to actually grab a photo off of Illustrator. I have a photo in Illustrator. Let me, Illustrator. Here's my Illustrator window. Behind here. Okay. So I want to grab this, copy. Let me go into Illustrator. Copy. Let me see what I have on the desktop. Let's just grab something I have. So let's grab this file. So here's a file I have. Let's say this was on my mood board. So here's the colors. I can then, so I can grab, and then grab it. Now I can also move it around. So let's say it's not grabbing some of the colors I want. So let's say I want to have this kind of brownish color. There it is. Or let's say I want to get this kind of amber color that's in the lip balm. So there's my colors. I want to save them to a library. So you can see I have a lot of libraries. I make libraries for everything. So if you don't have a library for this project yet, go ahead and make one. Hit the plus button. And so let's call this one our symbol set. And then you can even put your place. I'm looking at Mariah, so I'm going to do Paris. So symbol set Paris, right? Create. So now it's going to say save to, and I want to choose symbol set Paris. And so that's where this color is going to hit. I'm going to hit save. And boom, it's going to be in symbol set Paris. Now let's say I want to do a different, you can extract gradients, which is a newer feature, which I think is also really cool. Let's say I wanted to have a gradient in a design, and also accessibility tools, making sure that things are working. And what we need for color and type size in this example. So let's go into Explore. Here's another way we can look at colors. We can say, I want to explore different color themes, creative projects, stock photos, color gradients. I'm going to say, let's see what most used ones are. Oh, so here's kind of the most used themes. Maybe there's stock photos. I can go next. Like if I want something very rainbowy, I'm just hitting next. There's a lot of really rainbowy ones. I don't think I want something quite so rainbowy. I can go up here to luxury. Let's say I want to allude to a luxury or happy. These are different searches, and you can type in your own by using some of your keywords, perhaps. Let's say I wanted something very neutral. I can zoom down and see neutral. So there's lots of different ways I can. So let's say I'm going to do spring in Paris, because why not? Okay, so here's my spring in Paris. And so this one feels very French. Ooh la la. Let's go ahead and add this to my library. There, and it's been added to my library. That's my French spring in Paris one. And then I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do this kind of real earthy one here. Add to library. Okay, so you can do it many different ways to add to your libraries. Now I'm going to go into Illustrator and I'm going to open up my libraries. So I'm going to go to Window, Libraries. Now it takes a minute. Remember, this is an online database. It's going to take a minute. Sometimes it goes faster than other. I need to go up here to my libraries and find my symbol set Paris. So there they are. So there are my 3 colors palettes that I created for my symbol set Paris. What I want to do now is I want to put each one of these and add the theme to my swatches. Because and the theme means I want to add all the whole palette, right? Not just one of the colors, the whole palette. So I'm going to say add theme to, and then you'll see it went into a folder and it created a whole palette. And I'm going to do that to each of these. I'm going to select Holidays in Paris. And I'm going to say add theme, not color, but theme. That gives me a whole folder. I'm going to click down here on spring and add that theme. Okay, so now you can see in my swatches here, I have 3 themes. I'm going to take this one and get rid of the rainbow one. Yep, rid of the rainbow one. And so now I have my 3 themes. I have theme 1. It's called Color Theme Bloom. This one's called, I think, Holidays in Paris. And it puts the name in it right there because we took it from an existing one. And then you can see here when I click on Edit Colors, they're each in swatch groups. There they all are. When I click the little the grays are just automatically going to be there. There's this one, and there's this one. Okay, so we have all our swatches now added. All our palettes, sorry, all of our color palettes are added to our swatch library. This is important for our recolor strategy, the way we're going to do it. Now, I was thinking this file I had was Illustrator, but it's not. It's just a picture. So I'm going to do something real quick just to show you how this is going to work. Actually, I'm going to try one more thing. I think I might have images. COD. Let me just look one more time. I thought I had actual. Oh, I do. Okay, there we go. Symbol sets. or any things. Let me just see if I can open this in Illustrator, if it'll give me the, it's just going to give me. Oh, it's just an image too. Okay, so we're going to do it just this other way. We're going to go ahead and I am just going to make a couple squares. And so let's say you've created your grid. And I'm just going to quickly, real quickly, put in my images, my shapes. And I'm literally just following the shapes that are here. And I'm going to just start grabbing my colors from my first palette. So I'm using it's important that you create each design with one palette for this to work, because we're going to choose different palettes for our recolor. All the colors have to be in a palette to make the recolor work the way we want it to. Purple. And you might find that you want to add more colors to your palette. You can. So let's say there's a color I have up here and I want to add it to my palette. I can bring it down and add it. You can make your palettes more than what you brought in from the library. That's totally fine. So I'm just going to do this real quick. I feel like this doesn't feel like it has all the colors for some reason. Okay. One more long one. That's going to be orange. And then we have square here. And that's going to be, okay. Here is our design. Put that off. All right, so here's our design. And I'm just doing it with the color boxes because I don't have a full design. You'll have all your designs in the squares. Okay, so here's my design. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just group it for this purpose to have it. So here's my finished design, let's say. I've used this first colorway. So once we've done that, we are going to make multiple, oh goodness, zoom in. Zoom in, zoom in. Why are you zooming out? There we go. We are going to make multiple colorways, multiple copies of our colorway. We're going to do 3 of each. So you'll see, I'm going to create 3. I have 3 here, right? And I want to actually take it back. I'm going to use the artboard. So I have each one on an artboard. Copy, come on, window, artboards. And I'm going to go ahead and add another one. Oops, undo. I'm going to select this. I know. I'm going to add another one and add another one. All right, there's my 3. So I'm going to go up to Object, Color, or Edit, sorry, Edit, Colors, Recolor Artwork. And you're going to see this recolor window come up. And when it says color library, we're not going to worry about that. We're going to say colors, advanced options. So it gives us this bigger window. And you need this bigger window because there's our other colorways over here under the swatch groups. So what we're going to do for this is you can see what it's done is it's alluded to each one. I have black in there because I think I had an outline on my shapes. I'm just going to ignore the black. And so what I'm going to do is say I want to assign this, hold on, not just one. Cancel. Let's do it again. Edit, colors, recolor artwork, advanced options. And I'm going to select all of them, holding my shift key down. Is it letting me select all of them? Let me just take one, or do I have to edit the, no, I want to assign the whole thing to be this whole thing. Well, you can do one of two things. We can grab this and do individuals. There we go. Oh, there it goes. It did the whole thing. There we go. So I'm selecting the second one, the holidays in Paris. So now you can see it just switched all the colors to holidays in Paris. I can though also move these around. So if I'm like, right now the yellow is blue and the purple is this lighter blue. What if I want to move this up here? I can. I can move things around. Like let's say I want to make this, I can do that. So I can move things around in this manually, okay? So now let's go over to and say, okay. It's okay. Now I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to go back to edit, colors, recolor artwork, open up the advanced options, and select our last palette, Spring and Bloom. There it is. And I can move colors around. I can choose that I want this there or what have you. So we can, we can move things around. Let's say I want to move that way. So I can move things around. And this isn't a great example because I just have a few colors. You can do as many colors as you want, but you can see the more colors you have, the better. But you can see how things are going to easily recolor just by the click of a button. But then don't think you don't have control. That's why I want to show you can move things around how you want. Like if I want to say copy and make that one the same, like I want to make that one pink. There we go. So, all right, so then I'm going to say, okay. So now that is how I very quickly have 3 different colorways of the same design. So when we talk about 3 colorways, that's how you're going to do it. Any questions? Mariah, go ahead.
What is like are we able to look up color palettes like if we find one on the internet that we like, can we use those or do we have to find them on the Adobe Color thing?
Well, like I was showing you where I grabbed a picture, you can go on Adobe Color. So let's do exactly what you're saying. Let's say we find a color palette on the internet. Color palette. Oops, not from image, just color palette. Let's say we find a color palette. Right? Like this, you mean? Like you're looking around and you find a color palette you like.
Right.
Right? So let's say we find this one here. I can take this image. I'm going to get to my desktop so we can, God, I have so many things open. So many things. Okay. I'm going to grab this image right off the internet, right? Put it on my desktop. There it is. I'm going to go over here to Adobe Color. And I'm going to say, let's get out of there. And I'm going to say, create, extract gradient. And I'm going to grab that color palette and put it right there. Oh, not gradient, not a gradient. Hold on, not gradient. Extract theme. There we go. So we're just going to move over here to theme. Gradient, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm excited about that new one. So here's the theme. There it is. I can then also, I believe, add more colors. So you can see this is 5, but I know we can go up to 10. I gotta see how this lets me on this extract theme version add more colors because I want to get more colors. Library. No. You might have to do it in 2 parts. Like this one has more than 5 colors, for example. So I might do it this way with the darker colors. Like let's say I might grab this one, and this one. You see how I can move them? Or maybe I'll just grab the greens. Maybe on this one, I'll just grab the greens. And I'm going to put this, I'm going to call this be, I'm going to be this be my greens. Greens. Save. And now I'm going to do another one where I grab the pinks. Pull the pinks over. Boom. Boom. And this one I'm going to call pinks. Save. Let's go to Illustrator and see if it worked. Let's go to my libraries. Again, remember the libraries take just a second to reconnect. And there they are. There's my greens and there's my pinks. You see them? So I'm going to take my greens and add the theme to swatches. I'm going to grab my pinks, add the theme to swatches. Those are my palettes found. But the reason I want to bring them in still into Adobe Color is so that I have them in my library. It makes it just easier and faster. Otherwise, you got to sit there and plug in all the colors. It's just real tedious. So my goal is to make this fast and easy. So let's say we grab this, and like I don't really like these greens and pinks. So we got our new ones here. So let's go up to edit, colors, recolor artwork. And it's hiding behind my library. There it is. Let's open the advanced options and let's grab the pink. And there's the pinks. And let's grab the greens, right? So I could do the whole thing in green. I could do the whole thing in pink. And then you can kind of dive even deeper into things like color harmonies through color choosing. I mean, we can reduce the colors. Let's say I want to bring the whole design into 2 colors. We're not going to do that because it's going to just fall apart, but you would get the idea. So yeah, you can bring anything you want in. You can also do, and here's the last part we're going to talk about, is generative recolor. So this is bringing in our color palettes, which I like because I think you still get control. But we do have AI in Illustrator that you can use on this project. So you can describe the color palette. So let's say we're doing spring in Paris. Let's see what generative AI comes up with. Okay, these are the variations it's giving me for spring in Paris. So I can click this and say, okay, remove my swatches. This is what generative AI is telling me spring in Paris looks like. Or maybe it's this. Or maybe I don't like any of these and I want to see more variations. I'm going to just say generate again. Okay, so here's this one. Or maybe it's more mauve-y. So you can type in any prompt and we can be more specific. So maybe sunset in Paris in summer. Okay, now it's going to give me more like sunsetty colors, maybe little purples. Okay, so these are just some examples. So you can use generative AI for that as well, for your color recolors. All right. Lots of ways to play with color on this project. Because what we're ultimately going to do is you're going to have for your designs, 3 different colorways that we're going to look at when you guys come back. Okay.